Simon, a 42-10 win over Newcastle with other results going our way keeps us third in the table. With a potential banana skin with what's going on at Newcastle this week, how are you thinking after that game?
I think you just answered it all in the question. Yeah, a couple of results go our way and that's not really that important, that's not our focus. We're focusing on making sure we control our bits. And we did today. It was okay, an okay performance. But yeah, Newcastle, what to expect this week. The team's changed a lot in the last couple of games. It was very different today to what it could have been based on what we'd seen as well. And yeah, obviously the situation there's not great. We could have got a team that turned up and just rolled over from minute one, or a team that come with something to prove and contracts to earn, I suppose, at the moment. So yeah, we've overcome a bit there, and we've had another average week behind the scenes, infections, late pull-outs, late changes to the team and squad, so not ideal. So yeah, when you roll that all in together, a 42-10 victory, and not being on point, for a lot of reasons, we'll 100% take that.
Did see a few changes. Greg Wellington dropped out, Woodburn all missed out, but Dufresne came back at full back. We saw Dufresne, Keys and Aston back there. What do you think of their performances today?
I thought, again, like the whole team, I thought it was just okay. I thought Keys took control of kicking and kicked pretty well. Louis, not used to the miles in his legs at full back. There's a lot more tackling to do it when you're in the line, but yeah, not so much running and swinging from side to side, so a bit different for him today. But yeah, generally, with all them changes, it's not just about them three. Clunky, just a bit of a clunky performance. I don't think we didn't flow very well at all, and it took us half an hour in the second half to get to 10 sets in possession, which kind of tells you where our discipline and whatnot was at, to be sort of pinned on our own line. But yeah, one of them. We've come away reasonably unscathed, I think, the usual bits and bobs, bumps and stuff, but yeah, we welcome Matty G back, I think, from his ban next week. Greg will be back in contention, possibly Woody. So yeah, we've got plenty to look forward to. We spoke as a group about trying to peak in and start that upward trajectory toward our best performance. Today we didn't really get off the ground, I don't think. So yeah, next week, Derby week, no better week to jump up a couple of notches, I think.
The players are already talking about that in the dressing rooms after the game, looking forward to Derby week.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, with the way the Loop fixture works, we play Bradford 3 times every year, and it's a big one, and everyone, if you're associated from Bradford side of the fence or Halifax, everyone sort of pencils them ones in, and as they showed last week against York, where they are in the table isn't always the Bradford that turn out and have the performance they provide somewhat better than that, so we'll prepare for that game, that really tough game. And the Bash was a pretty tough game, to be fair, pretty physical contest, so yeah, we'll look after the bodies this week and hopefully we can start that upward curve.
Back onto the day, Lachlan Walmsley scored 4 tries. How good is it to have a prolific winger in the side like Lachlan who can finish off those?
Yeah, definitely. Give him half a chance, and he's a strong chance of getting over. He backs himself sometimes to my frustration, where sometimes he probably could have been a little bit smarter, but that's all part of learning the game. He's still only a baby, really, in rugby league terms. But what I've been impressed with is his yardage has got better as the years gone on. He's not early on got manhandled a bit, to be quite honest. And some of that's conditions and a bit slippery underfoot, and his speed probably didn't come to the fore to get him out of the trouble sometimes. But the other end of the field, our kicks, his kick chase, been a real asset to us, and his decision making around it as well, because it's often very tempting to go for every one of them, but you can't bring them all down. I think he's getting those decisions right, whether to wait and tackle or go for the ball more often than not. So yeah, happy for him. I think that might take him up to somewhere near joint top. I don't know if T. Ritson's been up there as well. I don't know if he's got over on that today, which is good for him, and that's what they're in it for, the competition of the wingers. They want to score the most tries, and yeah, it was nice for him to get over a few times, so there was a couple of good tries in amongst all that as well.
Got to mention Brad Knowles as well, his first game since that horrible injury against Batley. How happy are you and the lads to see him back out on the field?
Yeah, I think you saw in the lads' reaction to him coming out onto the pitch, and also the fans all clapping him on, which was a nice moment for him, and I've been there. It's an anxious moment, getting back out there into the mix, and I thought he did pretty well. Speaking to my brother who spends a bit of time at Leeds, we've been in dialogue with different people we know at different clubs around Brad's injury and gaining knowledge on how to rehab him and get him right, and that injury in a full-time environment to come back at 6 months, they'd be really happy with. 6 months at part-time, he's not where he needs to be, but to have got to where he is credit to Scott, Nick, Matt, the blokes who've been putting him back together, and obviously not being what's the word? No egos in what we do know. It's a new injury to us that none of us have really seen what had happened to Brad, or been in direct contact with rehabbing a person. So gone out, we've done everything we can to try and cover all bases, and to get back to where he is in part-time, where the physio is limited, the contact time with him is limited, you know, between his job and obviously the fact we're part-time of an evening. You only get, there's 25 players and they all need a bit of care and attention. So I think he's done really well, but yeah, I think he's still not there at the level he can hopefully get to, and I think his time is just the thing that Brad needs. And you know, we'll have a look at that one after this weekend, sit down and assess everything, because, and again, another nod to Scott, Nick, Matt, young Joe as well, sorry I missed him out, but we started the season with pretty much everyone fit, I think, off memory, bar Greg, who got injured in the Salford game in pre-season, and it's looking like, I'll touch wood after we finish speaking, but we're getting towards the right end of the year with everybody available, which is great, and the competition should hopefully drive that upward curve to make sure they're part of, you know, the games that everyone wants to play in a few weeks' time.
Speaking of the game everyone wants to play, it's Dav week next week. Let's go back to that. It's Bank Holiday weekend. How important are the fans going to be next week in a white hot atmosphere?
Yeah, I'm hoping that Bradford's plight doesn't see a poor turnout from the Bradford fans. I think their lads definitely need the support, particularly the ones that are left playing. They've got blokes injured and banned and whatnot, where we've got some young lads in there putting a shift in, and I think they deserve the support. And you know, I think last time we played them at home, Salty scored a try for us to win it at the end of the game, and that day, that atmosphere was brilliant. Really good occasion for us, and hopefully the weather will hang around. Bank holiday, everyone will get stuck in, won't they, have a few beers and enjoy themselves, and you know, there's no reason why we shouldn't have a really good turnout. And being fine boys, they were great today, to be fair, and Newcastle don't have much of a fan base at home, never mind following. It's a long way for them to come down, so I think to actually have some atmosphere in the stadium it's a nod to those guys in the South Stand, really, more often than not.